Print, email, Facebook, Twitter. More. Former live sheep export manager avoids jail over role in 22,000 sheep deaths in Pakistan. The former live export industry manager has avoided an immediate prison term for falsifying Commonwealth documents which allowed a consignment of 22,000 sheep to be imported into Pakistan, where they were brutally killed in vision that shocked Australia. Gary Robinson, who was a general manager for exporter Wellard when the sheep were killed in 2012, was sentenced in the Western Australian District Court. He had pleaded guilty to a charge of dishonestly influencing a public official from the Department of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries. Media player, space to play, enter mute, left and right to seek, 00:0010:4300:0010:43. Robinson forwarded the department a document which he knew had been fraudulently changed in order to obtain a certificate of health for the Australian sheep aboard Wellard's livestock carrier Ocean Drover in August 2012. Now 46. He was charged following an investigation after the sheep on the Ocean Drover were slaughtered and buried, some while they were still alive, in Pakistan. The shipment of sheep had been refused permission to unload in Bahrain after concerns about their health. As a result, Wellard diverted the cargo of livestock to Pakistan, where inspectors suspected the sheep were diseased. In court, Judge Michael Gething said Robinson's offending had been serious and there was a need for deterrence. He sentenced Robinson to 18 months jail but released him on condition of good behavior and a $20,000 bond. Wrong thing for right reasons. Robinson's lawyer Sam Vandengen earlier told the court his client had been under intense pressure and had not slept for days when he did the wrong thing for what he thought were the right reasons. He said Robinson had displayed signs of post-traumatic stress disorder from an earlier live export scandal in 2003 in which he was involved. He told the court his client was trying to prevent a repeat of what happened to the Cormo Express, which was left at sea with more than 50,000 sheep after they were rejected by Saudi Arabia in 2003. They were eventually accepted by Eritrea. Robinson had gone through the Cormo experience himself, Mr. Vandengen said, and there were indications of PTSD as a result. He also said his client was not responsible for the culling of the sheep, which occurred after somebody in Pakistan said they were infected. The animals were later found not to be diseased. Mr. Vandengen said the live trade was a hot topic politically and the case was not about the rights and wrongs of the industry. Judge Michael Gething said Robinson was guilty of a single act of dishonesty, and he had suffered adverse media attention and abuse from members of the public via phone, email and face-to-face. Justice Gething accepted that in the Ocean Drover incident, Robinson felt under high pressure to find a solution for the sake of the sheep, Wellard and the reputation of the live export industry. The judge said the 46-year-old was someone who can still be trusted, who had contributed to the industry in the past and probably in the future. But he reflected on the seriousness of the offending and the need to deter others who may do the same. The 18-month prison sentence could be imposed if he re-offended. 3 words that led to tragedy in 2012. Robinson was Wellard's Middle East manager and also a director of the Australian Livestock Exporters Council, ALEC. He had the job of organizing the appropriate export documents. One document issued by the Pakistan government, the No Objection Certificate, NOC, listed the health requirements necessary for approval to unload the animals, and by law, the same document was to be lodged with the Australian government. However, the NOC lodged by Australia had 3 words, "fit for breeding," inserted into it. The effect of this unauthorized amendment was to remove the need for the sheep to meet the listed Pakistan health requirements, including that the sheep be vaccinated. The letter containing the unauthorized change was sent to the Department of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries, which issued the certificate of health needed to import the sheep into Pakistan. In an email about the document to his colleagues, Robinson described the altered certificate as one that has had magic done to it and warned them, "We do not want anybody to compare the magic with the original." Calls for industry shutdown. In a statement after the hearing, Animals Australia said many Australians would feel like justice had not been done. 6 years later, the images of sheep being clubbed, stabbed and buried alive in Pakistan remain seared in the minds of Australians. The statement said, "This was one of the most appalling episodes in the history of Australia's live export trade, and it was brought about by the dishonest actions of one of its most senior officials. The fact that he has remained working in the industry speaks to the character of this industry and only reinforces why this is not a trade worthy of political support. Robinson's sentencing coincides with growing calls for the live sheep export trade to be shut down, with Labour set to formally endorse a private member's bill from Liberal MP Susan Ley this week. Media player, space to play, N to mute, left and right to seek, 00:001:03, 00:001:03. But Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has made it clear he has no intention of shutting down the trade because he believes the sector can be cleaned up. The government last week announced it would implement all 23 recommendations made by the McCarthy Review, which include reducing the number of sheep on vessels and jail time for those breaking the new laws. Print, email, Facebook, Twitter.